Hi team. Today we're going to delve into something that's part of all of our lives. That's our daily habits. Think about the habits you have, like brushing your teeth, exercising, or reading. We're going to use shapes and colors to visualize these habits on a computer canvas. So let's jump right in. The first thing to do is go to the code editor website. We're going to be using a programming language called JavaScript on this website, and a library called P5JS to help us draw using code. Some of you may have used this in your technology class last year. To get started, click on Sign Up and use your Google account to log in. Once your screen looks like this and you're logged in, you're ready to get going with the code. I want to say a few words, though, about working through this video. Notice I'm not saying watch this video. Watching is passive. Working is active. I want you to watch what I do and then try it yourself. You can pause the video while I type in code and then type in the code yourself. Check that your code matches mine. Another way to work through this video is try to do each step before I type in the code. Predict what I'm going to do by typing some code yourself and then see if you were right. You can check your code by running it or just by seeing the next step in the video. If your code is different, adjust your code to match mine. If you have some coding experience, this might work better for you. It's possible you're a bit nervous to be coding, and that's okay. I'm not assuming you have any experience. That said, if you know what you're doing, it's okay to try and make this code your own. In fact, I hope you do. Just know that you have this video here to help if you need it. All right, let's get started. We all have habits that we want to track. Let's say that you want to track 3 habits: exercising, reading, and sleeping. We'll use variables to represent each of those habits. We can name those variables so that the name describes its purpose. Let me show you what I mean. So as you can see here, each variable represents a daily habit or a quantity related to that daily habit. Now, we'll create a visual representation of these habits using simple shapes. I'm going to paste in some code for you to use. So I've created 3 rectangles on the screen, one for exercise, one for reading, and one for sleep. You'll also notice that I've done something called comment out this background line down here in the bottom. And that's simply because I don't want that code to run right now. Anytime you want to add some comments that describe what the code does, you can use those 2 backslashes, and the code to the right of those 2 slashes won't run. So it's a convenient way to explain what it is your code does, and also to make it so that code you don't want to run doesn't run. So each bar, each rectangle, represents a habit. Longer bars mean more time spent on that habit. So let's run the code and see what it does. So you can see right now that it's pretty boring. It's just drawing the 3 rectangles on the screen, and that's it. Let's add some color to distinguish our habits from each other. These lines of code I've added control the fill of the shapes that I'm putting on the canvas. These are 3 numbers, one for red, one for green, and one for blue. So 255, 0, 0 means only red. 0, 255, 0 means only green, and then I'll have you guess what that means. Let's run the code. Now you can see that it's filling all 3 of those rectangles with the colors that I put in before I draw the shape. Now we've drawn 3 rectangles to the screen at the points 50, 50, 50, 100, and 50, 150. The coordinates of those rectangles, top left corner, work in a similar way to math class, but with one big difference. I'm going to see if you can figure out what that difference is. Now, each habit has its own color. Feel free to change and choose your own colors by changing some of the numbers inside the fill command. Anything that has a number in this program, you can change, and you should. You can play around with this code, adjusting the times, adding more habits, or even using different shapes to represent them. You might try using circles or lines to visualize different habits as well. Here's code for making a black circle at the coordinates 200, 400. And here's code for drawing a red line from the point 100, 100 to 300, 200. Remember to run your code each time you make a change to see what it does. Now, you can make this code your own. Experiment with the values in the code. Again, any number you see, you can change to experiment to see if you can understand what it does. Add extra shapes if you want until you have a good idea of how this works. And that's it. We've just taken something abstract like daily habits and made them tangible through programming. Variables, shapes, and colors are powerful tools to represent real-world concepts. Keep exploring, keep building, and maybe even start tracking your own habits through code. Happy coding, and see you next time.